around, and I went to the next block, a couple of steps to the house where I grew up, wondering how we made it all those years, just you and me. We were so happy, but now it's been making me wonder, it's been making me think about the things that I said, and you're making me nervous, 'cause you're turning away. Now I'm begging, take it easy, and take it easy on me. Please believe me when I say I'm sorry. The next time we're in love, I'll get it right.
Okay, and this is Aaron Kupferberg for Popaholic.com, and today we're talking with John Taylor from the band Ocean Grove. How are you doing today, John?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Good. Let me ask a few questions, because I thought that your EP, Another Place to Stay, was a wonderful album. It's probably the best EP I've heard this year, in fact, from a pop band. And can you tell me a little bit about how the band got together?
Well, thank you for saying that. First off, that means a lot. We actually were touring on the road as sidemen, backing up some other artists, and met on the road in that manner, and decided, I'd always been kind of a songwriter, as had some of the other guys in the band, and just decided to give a whirl at trying out some of our own material. And because we'd played so many gigs together, so it was kind of a no-brainer at that point. Had a little bit of a fan base that existed from knowing us from being out on the road, and thought that we'd just try our hand at doing our own thing.
One of those bands, is it true you were a backup band for the Jonas Brothers at one point?
Yep, absolutely. I backed those guys up as their musical director for 5.5, 6 years.
Wow.
And so the other guys in the band also played for them, and that's where we met, out on tour with them.
What was it like working with them?
It was amazing. It was an incredible life experience. I was with them from the very beginning, so kind of a coming-of-age story with those guys, and got to see it all happen and unfold in front of my eyes, from playing little dingy clubs to playing Madison Square Garden 3 nights in a row, sold out. It was a pretty serious life experience, and great guys to work with, great people, down to earth, into really great music, into making good music. So it was a really humbling and amazing experience. Oh,
great. Tell me, how you got into music initially, John. I mean, what were your biggest influences?
Well, I always kind of sang as a kid when I was growing up. And when I was 12 years old, I tore my ACL in my left leg ski racing.
Ouch.
And I'd been taking guitar in my 6th and 7th grade music class, and I was, kind of taking a liking to it. And my mom had always played Beatles records and Beach Boys records in the car. I was really kind of tuned into 60s pop music from an early age, and just kind of right timing. A senior in high school, while I was in 7th grade, had heard me sing, and he was putting together a group to be a Beach Boys cover band. And this is right when I was starting to play guitar, and he actually approached me and asked me if I would sing the high, the Brian Wilson stuff, the Brian and the Carl stuff, on in his band, The Good Vibrations.
Nice.
And he quickly versed me and taught me guitar on 15 or 20 different Beach Boys tunes, including some pretty complicated ones, and that kind of dove me into my love of vocal harmony and tight pop arrangements, and my lifelong love affair with Brian Wilson's work, which is, he's kind of my hero, and I really celebrate everything that he's done. So that was my intro to that, and that's kind of where my big influences lie. I mean, it started early. I was listening to that stuff when I was very young, but I really started to study it and dissect it at the beginning of my adolescent phase.
Well, I kind of agree with you on that. I mean, a lot of the best bands pick up some of the greatest influences in rock and harmony, and I think you've done that here for sure.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about, let's get to one specific song that I really liked on the EP, the song The Best. it's like the greatest advice for an aspiring musician. I don't know if that's how it was intended to be written, or if if it just came out that way. But what's the best advice you got when you got into this business?
Well, see, I think, the best advice I ever received was from my instructor at Berkeley, Johnny DiFrancesco, my guitar instructor, who, I was like, how do you do it? What do you do to make it? And he said, you practice. The one thing that you really need to know is know your instrument, know your voice, and have that all be second nature before you go out there and try to do anything, Be good at your craft, and that's the best advice. But I think that the background of that song, The Best, was kind of, it started out as like this. It started out when we were writing it as kind of like this anti-Hollywood thing. Like, there's so many people out here that think they deserve something who haven't worked hard. And one of the things that I learned being on the road with the Jonas guys was that hard work pays off. These were guys that tirelessly, me alongside them, tirelessly toured, relentlessly, sometimes 2 or 3 shows a day for months and months on end in a van in the middle of the winter, lugging gear up and down stairs. It's like, you really have to pay your dues if you want to have a lucrative career in music. And so it's like, you got to grind it out on the road, and you also have to grind it out in your bedroom with your acts and play and sing and really listen to music and listen objectively and love what you're doing and love the craft and put some time into it. It's more than just being a pretty face on the cover of a record. I think it's a combination of those two things. Like, you got to pay your dues. You got to try to, if you want to make it, you got to pay your dues, and if you want to make it, you got to be good. That's the way that was kind of the message we were trying to send with that, and that's what we strive to do as a band. Is execute every night, play very well, be tight, and show that it's something authentic. We care about the music. It's real. It is what we're doing, and we're passionate about it, So, because those are the things that always spoke to me. Those are the things that you saw with the Beatles, and those are the things that you saw with the Rolling Stones, and and the bands all through the 70s that were so great. Steely Dan's, and then into the Jellyfishes, and, people who really took pride in being tight and getting their stuff solidly down on tape and in the live environment.
I think you're well on your way with that for sure.
Thank you very much.
Is there any LP, a full length LP in the works?
It's totally in the works. It's about 50% written at this point. We are spending more time writing more songs and just kind of really digging in. We're trying to get even more honest and tweak the sound slightly. No major changes to what we're doing, but kind of tweak a couple of the sounds, expand the palette a little bit with soundscapes and some of the approaches that we're taking, and we're just taking a little bit more time with this one. But the plan is somewhere at the end of this year, beginning of next year, to get all these ideas recorded and mixed and mastered and release a full length.
What's it like going on the road now, as a band without, backing up another artist? Is it a little scary?
It's liberating. It's totally different. With that gig, that gig was all about precision and making sure you nailed the parts every night and making sure that your job was done well. And being a musical director for that band, it was like I had to kind of pay attention to everything that was happening all at once. And although I put my heart into the performance as well, and I really laid it out there and tried to be emotionally involved, it's different when it's my song and I'm the front man singing it, and it's our song. I think I speak for the whole band in saying that it just feels a little different when it's your art and your material, and you're out there putting it up. It's a song that you wrote about a personal experience, and you're connecting with this audience. And it makes me feel young again, I guess, because it had been 5 years since I've done that. I've always been in bands, and I've always been a singer in a band until I took this gig as a sideman, just a guitarist, singing background vocals. So I really took a step back for a lot of years, and it's a lot of fun to get back up in front of the mic and really be able to connect with the audience right in front of you. Playing giant rooms for a long time, you lose that feeling of, wow, these people are 10 feet away, and right in front of me, I call it the splash zone, where they can get knocked with sweat right off my microphone. It's like that's real stuff, and I really like the way that feels. So we're having fantastic time doing it.
Oh, great. Well, where is the tour expected to go in support of this EP? Will you be playing any music festivals like the International Pop Overthrow or any or Coachella or something?
We're shopping a couple of those and shopping some stuff in the spring as well. There's definitely going to be a big push at South by in March. We'll certainly be playing there, and we're trying to look into a couple other festival situations. But the immediate future has us going. We're actually going to go to South America for 3 weeks in a few weeks here. And Nick Jonas has actually asked us to come down and be direct support on his South American tour, so we're going to go do that. And then we're coming back, and there is a tour that's going to be announced on Monday for October and November. So unfortunately, I can't say anything yet per my agents. But come Monday, we will be releasing a month's worth of tour dates in October and November.
Great. We'll be sure
in the United States. So
we'll be sure to check the website for that when that finally comes out. I appreciate the time you took to talk to me, and I think you're doing a fabulous job. The band's doing a fabulous job. I love this. It gives the whole genre of rock and power pop a good name by doing this wonderful music, and we can't wait to hear your next full-length album when it's ready. So
thank you so much. I really appreciate your kind words. That really means a lot. That's why we do it. We do it for that reason. So really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Great. And signing off with John Taylor from Ocean Grove. This is Aaron Kupferberg from Popaholic. Thanks again, John, and take care.
See you out there.
Okay.
I turned around and I went to the next block, a couple of steps to the house where I grew up, wondering how we made it all those years, just you and me. We were so happy, but now it's been making me wonder. It's been making